The air was heavy with dust and the floor creaked under her light steps. Jira, the young alien girl with glowing silver eyes and soft violet skin, entered the abandoned human base, unsure if it was safe. Her small claws scratched nervously at her arm as she walked deeper into the ruins. She shouldn't have come alone, but hunger had pushed her thirst. She had been traveling for hours through the desert wastelands of Zatnine. The twin suns were brutal. Her canteen was dry, and her tongue felt like sand. The human base had been quiet for years. At least that's what her people believed. Jera opened a rusted door. A cloud of cold air rushed out to cold. Inside was a large room, filled with strange human machines. Glowing blue lights blinked from dusty panels. She stepped in, careful not to trigger anything. On one of the tables sat a clear container, shaped like a small bottle. The liquid inside was golden, thick, and strangely ... inviting. She looked. Around no cameras, no voices, just silence. The label was written in human standard. She couldn't read it. But the markings were bright red, and there was a symbol on it, a human skull with lightning bolts. She tilted her head. Decoration, she whispered to herself. Her throat burned. She had no water. Maybe this was medicine. Humans had strange ways of storing things, after all. She grabbed the bottle, cool to the touch. She sniffed the cap. It didn't smell bad. In fact, ... it smelled sweet. Like fruit from her home world, mixed with something spicy. Her stomach grumbled. She hesitated only for a moment and then tipped the bottle to her lips. Just a sip, that's all. The liquid burned. It rushed down her throat like fire, but then ... warmth. A wave of it. It's like being wrapped in soft blankets. Her knees buckled, and she sat down hard on the floor. Her breathing quickened. Her heart raced. She touched her chest. It felt like her heart was pounding right under her skin. What is happening? She gasped. Her skin flushed from purple to pinkish blue. Her fingers twitched. Her thighs tensed. Heat surged from her belly, crawling up her spine and pooling in strange, sensitive places. Panic set in. She tried to stand, but her legs trembled. The room suddenly felt too hot. Even though cold air blew from the vents, then clanked. The door behind her opened. She turned her head. Slowly a human stood there, tall, muscular, worn armor on his chest, a helmet under his arm. He looked like a soldier from the old wars, broad-shouldered tan skin, sharp brown eyes. His name tag read SGT, Kai Thorne. His eyes widened the moment he saw the bottle in her hand. No. What did you do? Jira blinked at him, her lips trembling. I was ... thirsty ... I didn't know. Kai rushed forward and grabbed the bottle. He looked at the label and cursed loudly. This wasn't water, girl. That's Serum X-47 top. Secret human enhancement formula for combat. And he stopped, seeing the glow rise from her chest and the tremble in her voice. It's designed to trigger a hyperstate, he muttered. For human soldiers, not. Not for someone like you. Jira curled into herself, sweat dripping from her brow. I feel strange, ... Hot, I can't stop shaking, ... Kai's face turned pale. He dropped his helmet, pulled off his jacket, and rushed to her side. You need cooling now, your system. Can't handle this, he said. He wrapped his jacket around her shoulders, but the moment their skin touched, Jira gasped loudly. Their eyes met. It was like a current passed between them. Her breathing became shallow. Her pupils dilated. Her fingers clenched his sleeve. I don't want to hurt you, she whispered. Kai backed away quickly. You're not in control anymore, that serum. It boosts desire, aggression, physical needs. It was never meant. For someone with alien biology, she held her head, trembling. What do I do? Please, help me. Kai tapped his wristband. Command! This is Sergeant Kai. Emergency at Sector 9. Alien female exposed to Serum X-47. Requesting biotainment. And medevac immediately. But the signal was dead. Jira let out a soft whimper. Something's happening to me. He looked at her. Eyes glowing, lips parted, breath quick and uneven. And then he realized they were completely alone, locked in a long-abandoned base. with no outside contact. In a ticking biological time bomb in front of him. This was no accident. This was going to get worse. Much worse. Jera sat on the cold floor, wrapped in the human's jacket, but her skin felt like it was on fire. She didn't know where the heat was coming from, more why it pulsed between her legs, deep in her belly, and up to her chest like waves of uncontrollable pressure. The moment Kai touched her, the heat had spiked. His scent, his presence, made everything worse. No, not worse. Intense. She didn't want this, and yet her body had decided otherwise. Kai kept a cautious distance now, standing just meters away, his hand hovering near his sidearm not to harm her, but in case she lost control. The room hummed with a low mechanical buzz, and somewhere in the back, a red light blinked above a sealed door marked biohazard. "I can't stop shaking," Jera whispered, hugging her knees. Her tail thumped the floor involuntarily. Her breathing was ragged. Her pupils were no longer thin slits, but wide and dark. She had never felt anything like this, not in training, not in her coming-of-age cycle, not even during instinct flares on her homeworld. This was hunger. "I'm trying to fight it," she said, her voice breaking. "But it's like something else is inside me now, pushing me." Kai knelt slowly, keeping his hands open and voice calm. "That serum was never meant for anyone outside. Human biology," he said. "It was an experimental enhancer. It targets emotional centers, amplifies drive, reproductive urges, for combat readiness. In men," Jera's face flushed darker, "and in me. In you, it's rewriting your instincts." Her eyes widened in horror. "You mean I'm becoming something else?" He nodded. "Not permanently. I hope. But if your body keeps reacting like this, it might imprint. I exhaled, rubbing the back of his neck. "It bonds to the first compatible subject it detects, usually a mate. In soldiers, that means increased loyalty and readiness for physical contact, but your species doesn't work the same way." Jera's claws gripped the floor. "So now I'm stuck with this," she hissed. "I feel like my skin doesn't fit anymore. Like I want to crawl out of myself. I can't think. I can't focus. And when I smell you." She stopped, covering her mouth in shame. Kai looked away, his jaw tight. "I know," he said softly. "I saw what it did to one of my own once. He tried to fight it too. Lasted 2 hours. Then, his instincts took over. He nearly destroyed everything around him." Jera shook her head, tears brimming in her eyes. "I don't want to hurt you, Kai," her voice cracked. "I don't want to touch you, but my body does." Kai stood, grabbed a small metal rod from a crate, and slammed it into a port in the wall. The emergency override sparked and beeped. "What are you doing?" she asked, activating quarantine chamber. "You're not safe. Not even from yourself." The floor rumbled. Steel panels closed over the exits. The lights turned a soft red. They were now locked in. "For how long?" she whispered. "Until your system stabilizes. Or until someone comes to get us," he said, watching her carefully. Jera pressed her forehead to the ground, sweat pouring down her back. Her muscles twitched again. Her breathing was faster now, chest rising and falling, like she'd run for miles. Her thoughts were blurring. A strange sound escaped her throat, half growl, half moan. She bit her lip hard enough to draw blood. Her fingers dug into the metal tiles. "I'm losing control," she whispered. "Please, do something." Face was torn between urgency and guilt. There were rules. He couldn't touch her. He couldn't give in. But if she went too far, her mind might break or worse. Her body might burn itself out from overload. And then he remembered. One thing they train for in emergencies: bond suppression through focused grounding. It wasn't physical, it was emotional. If he could distract her brain from instinct or mind, her who she really was, maybe she could last a little longer. He sat down across from her. "Jera," he said firmly. "Tell me your favorite memory." She blinked. Her lip trembled. "What? Your favorite memory? Childhood? Family? Anything?" She closed her eyes, struggling to focus. There was a waterfall, she whispered. My sister and I used to sit under it. The water would hit us hard, but we'd laugh. Our mother brought us warm fruit pies afterward. Good, he said. Stay there. Picture that waterfall. Keep breathing. Jira bit down on a sob, holding on to that image, and for the first time in the last hour her body trembled less. But the storm inside her was far from over. Kai knew this was just the beginning, and time was running out. Asterisk. A loud hiss echoed through the steel corridor. Clank, clunk, thud. Thick metal shutters dropped over every door, out, one by one, sealing them in like a vault. Jira looked up from the floor, her body trembling, sweat rolling down her temples. The red glow of the warning lights bathed her soft purple skin, now flushed pink in unnatural places. The emergency lockdown had activated, and there was no way out now. She and Kai were alone, locked inside a military-grade quarantine chamber for the next 48 hours. The air grew still, silent, heavy. Kai stood near the far wall, arms crossed, trying to think, trying not to look at her. But it was impossible to ignore the low growls she made in her throat, or the scent of heat that now filled the air, thick and distracting. Jira sat on the cold ground, eyes closed, fighting the urges that came in waves. She hated this. This wasn't her. She was trained, disciplined. She was not some creature driven by instinct. And yet, her claws scraped lightly against her thighs. Her breath caught every time she smelled him. The serum was still spreading through her bloodstream. Faster now. Her alien body was adapting too quickly and dangerously. I can't stop it, Kai, she said weakly. It's getting worse. I feel like I'm falling apart. Kai exhaled slowly. I'm trying to keep my distance. Here. Not in control right now, he said. We'll wait this out. We'll survive. Jira opened her eyes, half-lidded, glowing faintly. Survive. I don't even know who I am anymore. She crawled toward the far corner, curled up in a ball, and covered her face with her arms. Her tail lay limp behind her, twitching once in a while like a live-wired dot. Kai turned to the control panel. He tried to contact command again. Nothing, no signal. The storm outside the base had cut comes. No help was coming soon. He looked back at her. Something about her posture had changed. She wasn't shivering anymore. Her breathing had slowed, but something else was happening. Her skin was glowing, faintly from her chest. Down. Kai's brows furrowed. He walked over slowly and knelt beside her. Jira. Her eyes opened. But they weren't just glowing now. They were shining, as if her pupils were reflecting stars. Then she whispered, almost in a trance, it's not just desire anymore. Something inside me is claiming. Kai's heart skipped a beat. Claiming. That word wasn't in the Serum manual. What do you mean? She looked at him dazed. You're sent. It's burned into me now. My body thinks you're mine. Rewriting me? For you? Kai backed away slowly. Jira, you need to hold on. Focus. You're stronger than this. I don't think strength matters anymore, she said softly. This chamber, it's designed for biomerging tests. Isn't it? Kai's eyes widened. Yes, it was. Back during early human-alien alliance experiments. This chamber was used to test bonding reactions between species under chemical influence. Intimacy was sometimes triggered by purpose, but that project was shut down. This was one of the last leftover chambers. Jira suddenly sat up straighter, her breathing calm. To calm? That scared Kai. He stepped forward. What's happening now? He asked cautiously. She looked down at her own hands. The panic is gone, but something else replaced it. I don't feel afraid anymore. I feel pulled. Like I'm magnetized to you, and if I don't get close, I'll break. Kai swallowed hard. He couldn't let this continue. There had to be a suppressant hidden in the chamber. He turned toward the wall lockers and pried one open rows of old injectors. Inside, most were expired. One had a label, X-47 neutralizer. Unstable. Use in emergency only. He grabbed it and turned only to find Jira standing right behind him. Her hand gently touched his chest. Not clawed, not desperate. Soft. She looked up at him. Kai, if you inject me, I might forget this. All of this. Will I still be me? Froze, her voice. It wasn't clouded anymore. She sounded like herself again, the girl who made jokes. The girl who once said humans were strange but brave. The one who used to watch Earth movies in secret. But her eyes were still glowing. Her skin was still warm. And her breath, ... was still trembling. He held the injector. His thumb hovered over the button, but she whispered again, if I lose this. Memory, will I still want to stay close to you? Or will it all vanish? The serum wasn't just changing her body, it was changing her feelings. And Kai now faced a terrifying choice. Cure her hand, risk erasing whatever fragile bond they'd built. Or do nothing and let her body keep evolving into something dangerously. Obsessed with him, Jira stood silently, just inches from him. Her soft hand rested on Kai's armored chest. Her glowing eyes weren't wild anymore, but too focused, and that scared him more than when she was panicking. He still held the injector in his hand, over the release button. The anti-serum could stop her transformation, but possibly erase her emotions too. Her current self might vanish. Whatever bond had started between them could disappear like mist. Jira tilted her head. Her voice was low, not pleading, but almost sad. Don't inject me, Kai. Not yet. He blinked. Jira, if I wait any longer, your biology might bond permanently. To me, that's not something we can undo. Her glowing fingers trailed lightly down the fabric of his uniform. Not seductive, just curious. She wasn't acting like a creature. In heat anymore, she was acting like someone afraid to lose something precious. I know, she said softly. That's why I want to make this choice before it's taken from me. He stared at her in disbelief. You saying you want to, ... complete the bond? She nodded slowly, but then added something that caught him off guard, not because of instinct, but because I choose you. His heartbeat thundered in his ears. This wasn't the serum talking, was it? Could she really tell the difference anymore? Jira, ... you don't know what you're asking. She stepped back slightly, biting her lower lip. Tail curled around her ankle. I do, she said. I don't want medical help. I don't want to forget. I want you to help me. By staying close, by grounding me. Kai hesitated. This wasn't what they trained for. He was a soldier, not a caretaker. And definitely not a bonded partner in a cross-species chemical situation. But he also saw something in her eyes' clarity. Not madness, not lust, just the fragile will of someone trying to stay in control of her own mind. While everything else tried to take it from her, he set the injector down gently. I'm not going to touch you, said voice calm but firm, but I'll sit beside you, talk to you, keep you tethered. That's all I can promise. Jira smiled faintly, relief softening her tense shoulders. That's all I need. They sat down in the center of the room, back to back, close enough for her to feel his presence, but not too close to push temptation.
Oh.
The metal floor was cold. The air carried a strange tension like standing at the edge of a cliff with no wind. I still feel it inside me, she whispered. The fire, the pulling. But your voice quiets it. Kai nodded, staring at the opposite wall. Good. That means you're fighting it. That means you're strong. There was silence for a few minutes. Then she said something unexpected. You think this is fate? He frowned. What do you mean? I come from a species that doesn't believe in randomness. Everything has purpose, even mistakes. She looked down at her hands, glowing gently in the red light. What if I wasn't meant to drink the serum, but meant to meet you this way? Kai shook his head. I don't believe in fate. Believe in choices. And right now, you're choosing not to lose yourself. That's what matters. Jira turned slightly and looked over her shoulder. And maybe you were meant to help me remember who I am. Her words hit deeper than he expected. This wasn't about hormones anymore. This was about identity, about staying herself. The serum didn't just arouse, it reprogrammed her choice to resist. It's an act of rebellion against the transformation suddenly. She, Kai, felt her back arch slightly against his. Her breath quickened again. The waves, they're back, she whispered. Stronger now. He turned quickly. Her body trembled. A faint blue mist lifted off her skin like vapor. Gara, focus on my voice again, he said urgently. What did your sister call you when you were little? She clenched her jaw. Zizzy. Only she could say it without me getting mad. Good. Hold on to that. Her eyes closed tight. Her hands dug into the floor, and then she reached back, blindly grabbing his hand, clutching it like a lifeline. He let her, their fingers locked not as lovers. But as survivors, I'm still here, she whispered. Still me. Still ... Jira. Kai understood this wasn't just about helping her resist the serum. This was about making sure she didn't disappear forever. Asterisk. Jira was losing the battle again. Her grip on Kai's hand tightened, her nails pressed into his skin not to harm him, but as if her body was begging him, don't let go. She trembled harder than before, her back arched. Her breathing grew sharp. The blue glow from her skin pulsed faster now, as though her heartbeat had turned into light. Jira, stay with me, Kai said gently, bracing her body with one arm while holding her hand in the other. You're stronger than this. But she didn't respond. Her jaw clenched. Her eyes rolled back, and then she let out a strained, low sound, not a cry for help, but an animal sound. Kai's stomach twisted. This wasn't a flirtation. This wasn't even heat anymore. This was instinct breaking through her. Mind, her hands suddenly pushed against him. Her body moved on its own, closing the space between them. She pinned him down before he could fully react, straddling his waist. Eyes glowing and teeth bared not in rage, but in desperate confusion. Kai didn't move. He didn't fight back. His fingers hovered near her wrist. Ready, but he didn't push her, Jira, he whispered. She blinked, her breath hitched. Her face just inches from his. She looked terrified of herself. Kai, stop. I don't want this, but I can't. Her voice cracked as if every word came through a storm inside her head. Make it stop. ... Please. Before I lose myself. Kai searched her eyes, hoping to find her still inside that heat-flooded body. Then he remembered. A training memory from deep in his past. A protocol used when someone's mind was slipping into a chemically induced state. Anchor with emotion. Triggered the memory of safety. He had taught her one phrase weeks ago during language practice. A phrase that had no direct translation in her culture, but made her giggle the first time she heard it. He said it now, gently. Peach fluff. Jira froze completely. Her eyes widened as her breath caught in her throat. Then, like a spark of light through the fog, she laughed. Just once, soft but real. She blinked again. Her glowing skin dimmed a little, her nails retracted, and the trembling in her muscles slowed. Kai, she whispered, looking down at him, still on top of him, but no longer out of control. I remember that, she said with a shaky smile. You said it means nothing, that it's just silly. Human nonsense. And you said it sounded like something sweet, he replied, still holding still beneath her. She slowly rolled off him and sat beside him on the cold floor. Her body was still flushed, still burning, but she had reclaimed her mind. For now, the silence between them stretched. Only their breathing filled the room. Thank you, she whispered. You reached me. Kai exhaled deeply, rubbing his face. I wasn't sure it would work. She glanced at the injector lying on the floor across the room. So, that's still there. He nodded. Use it, and this all stops. I might forget everything I'm feeling, she said, voice low, and I don't think I want to. Kai looked at her carefully. You'd rather hold on to this chaos? She smiled faintly, because it's not just chaos. You're inside it now, part of it. He looked down. Her words hit harder than he expected. I'm scared, she added, but not of the serum anymore. I'm scared that once it fades, I won't feel anything for you. Maybe what I'm feeling now isn't real. Kai reached over and gently touched her wrist. You're you, Jira. You made choices even when your body tried to take them away. That's real, her eyes shimmered not from the serum this time, but from something more fragile. She leaned her head on his shoulder. I want to believe that. They sat in silence again, his arm resting around her shoulders, her breathing slowly becoming steady, but neither of them noticed the tiny blue mark forming on the back of Jera's neck, a biosignature glyph, proof that the imprinting process had begun, and it was irreversible. Asterisk, the quarantine chamber was quiet. Too quiet. Jera leaned gently against Kai's shoulder, her breath calm at last, her body no longer trembling like before. But beneath her skin, beneath her muscles and nerves, something was still changing. Kai could feel it. Her touch didn't burn anymore, but there was something different. Her heartbeat was no longer fast. It was synchronized with his. He glanced at the back. Her neckhand froze. A faint glowing pattern had formed beneath her skin. Circular, pulsating, with thin lines that slowly lit up like circuitry. A mark. Glyph. And it was in human pattern code. Jera. He whispered, "There's something on your neck." She blinked slowly and sat up. "What is it?" Turned her gently and ran his fingers across the mark. "It's a binding symbol. Genetic tech. I've seen this before, during early bonding. Trials between human and non-human species. It's supposed to activate only under full compatibility." Her eyes widened. "But we didn't. We didn't even bond." Kai's voice dropped. "Not physically. But your body took the serum, and emotionally. We've been locked together for hours. You resisted the chemical, chose me over. Instinct." Jera stood slowly, her balance surprisingly steady. She didn't shake this time, didn't stumble. Instead, her movements were smooth, too smooth, as if her limbs were lighter, her senses sharper. "I feel like I'm waking up from a long dream," she said, touching her chest. "But it's not over. Something's still moving inside me. It's not violently, quietly, like ... It belongs." Kai studied her. She looked the same, but there were subtle differences. Her skin had taken on a new, tone-deeper violet, with soft golden shimmer under the surface. Her pupils now had thin gold rings, and when she stepped closer, the air around her felt charged. "You're not just recovering," he said. "You're evolving." She frowned. "Into what?" "I don't know. But the serum was never designed to mix with alien DNA. Your biology didn't reject it. It embraced it." Jera looked down at her glowing palm. "Maybe I was meant to change." Kai stood up, not sure whether to feel concerned or amazed. "That's not the serum talking anymore, is it?" She met his gaze with complete clarity. "No," she said. "This is me." The room lights flickered. Base's power system groaned above them. Suddenly, a deep hum filled the air coming from Jera. Kai backed up a step. What was that? She didn't know. But she raised her hand and the lights above stabilized. The hum faded. Jera looked down at her palm in shock. "I didn't do that," she said. Double quotes. "Yes, you did," Kai replied. "Or maybe your body did. You're connected to the system now. The serum, it's integrating more than just instinct. It's fusing you with old human tech frequencies." Her mouth opened slightly. "I'm becoming part of human design," Kai nodded. "You're becoming something in between." Jera took in a shaky breath. "I'm scared again," she said.
Out.
"But not because I'm out of control.
At.
Scared because I don't know what I'm becoming." Kai stepped forward and took her hand. "Then we'll find out together." Just then, her legs buckled. Not from heat, but from a sudden wave of pressure inside her spine. She dropped to her knees. Kai rushed to her. Her body shook, not with instinct this time, but with transformation. Her back arched and a strange light rippled through her veins. Visible beneath her skin, her glyph glowed brighter. And then she screamed, not from pain, but from something deeper. As if her body had accepted the final stage, Kai held her as she gasped. Then it stopped. Jera collapsed in his arms, eyes closed, skin glowing with golden pulse. breath slow, Kai. I'm here. She opened her eyes, and when she looked at him this time, something had changed in her stare. Calm, more stronger, but more intense, I think. I'm linked to you now, not just bonded, she whispered. I'm tethered. Your pain will echo in me, your thoughts. They'll reach me. I'm not just aroused anymore. She placed his hand on her chest above her heart. I'm yours now, mind and body. Kai stared at her, stunned. He didn't know what shocked him more, that she said it, or that he believed it, but before he could reply, the chamber lights turned green. A mechanical voice spoke overhead. Quarantine completed. Extraction. Team en route. Caution. Biolink signature detected. They had just 15 minutes left, whatever Jira had become. The world outside was about to find out. Asterisk. The chamber door let out a long metallic groan. Behind it, footsteps echoed heavy, fast, and organized. Human boots. They were coming. Jira sat quietly on the floor, her back pressed against the steel wall, eyes glowing faint gold. She looked calm now, too calm. But Kai could feel the tension rising from her body, like heat from a fire that hadn't yet burned out. Kai, she said softly, not looking at him. What happens when they take me? Kai didn't answer right away. He stood near the main panel, watching the timer count down. 11 minutes, till the door opened. He knew exactly what would happen. The medical team would scan Jira, see the glyph, detect the serum's effects, and classify her as a biomeld anomaly, an unknown hybrid, and military protocol had one response to that: contain, control, or eliminate. Kai swallowed. They'll want to study you, he said. Maybe take you to a black site, isolate you from everyone. Even me. Jira finally looked at him. But I didn't ask for any of this, she whispered. I didn't choose to drink it. No, he said, stepping closer. But you chose not to lose yourself. You chose me. He held on. She smiled faintly. So what do we do now? Kai looked at the injector still lying in the corner, the one that could suppress everything. Her evolution. The bond. The glyph. But also, her memories. He picked it up. We still have one option. I inject this, and you go back to the way you were. No link. No changes. The bond will fade. Maybe even disappear. Jira looked away, and I'll forget how I feel about you. Won't I? Maybe, Kai said. Maybe not. But you'll be safe. They won't see you as a threat. You'll just be another alien girl again. Jira stood now, quiet, strong, but her voice was soft. Or I keep this new self, and they lock me away forever. Kai lowered the injector. That's the risk. 7 minutes. Silence filled the chamber again. Jira took a step toward him. Let me ask you something, she said. If I were human, if I were your kind, would you be afraid to fight for me? Kai didn't blink. No. Then don't be afraid now, she said. She reached forward and placed her hand on his chest, just over his heart. You said I chose you, but now it's your turn. His breath caught. He looked down at her, this alien girl who just hours ago was trembling and terrified, begging him to stop the change inside her. Now she stood tall, composed, with golden eyes that shined not because of the serum, but because of will. And then, slowly, Kai dropped the injector. Let it fall to the floor. Jira's eyes shimmered with emotion. No tears, just clarity. You're really choosing me. She asked. No, Kai said. I'm choosing us. 3 minutes. The emergency lock released with a loud clunk. The door began to slide open. Harsh. White lights flooded the room. Soldiers in white armor stepped in, weapons raised, scanners buzzing. Medical officers followed, shouting for Kai to step back, demanding Jira be restrained. But before anyone could touch her, Kai raised his hand. She's with me, he barked. Stand down. The room fell silent for a moment. The lead officer stepped forward. Sergeant Thorne. That thing is carrying a Class 5 genetic anomaly. She must be extracted for analysis. She's not a thing, Kai said. She's a soldier. She fought harder than anyone I've seen to stay herself. But she's linked, the medic said, to you. I know, he replied. Calmly, I accepted it. I authorized it. Record that. The officer hesitated. A biolink under human consent? Yeah, that changed everything. The soldiers looked at one another. The medic sighed and lowered the injector gun. Fine, but she goes into observation. Joint custody, Kai nodded. She's not going anywhere without me. Jera stepped beside him, her hand slipping into his. The lead officer grunted, "You're both crazy." "Probably," Kai replied, "but for the first time in hours." Jera smiled. Epilogue: 3 days later, Zahra stood on the deck of the med ship, wrapped in a gray hoodie, the glyph on her neck now a faint tattoo. Suppressed, but never gone. She looked out the window at the stars. Kai stepped beside her. "Still feel the bond?" She nodded. "It's quieter now, but it's still there. Still warm. Still us." He smiled. "Good. Then maybe the galaxy. We'll just have to get used to the two of us." Jira leaned her head against his arm. "Just promise me one thing," she said. "Anything. If I ever drink human stuff again, make sure it's just water." They both laughed. And behind them, the stars kept glowing, just like her eyes. Asterisk.